Hello and welcome to the webinar. Today I'm going to be showing you how our new development, Advanced Forms, improves your customer experience really easily. Advanced Forms is the latest development of our Squiz DXP. So I'm Leonie May, Senior Product Marketing Manager here at Squiz, and over the next, 30 to 45 minutes, we'll be running through how our new Advanced Forms is helping our customers, some of the benefits that they've been experiencing, and what you can really do with Advanced Forms beyond collecting data to improve your end user experience. You'll also get a demo of the product in action. So let's get started. So first, some introductions. Joining me to answer your questions today is Julie Brettle, our Chief Product Officer, with Product Manager Eugene Mok showing Advanced Forms via video. And now just for the housekeeping, this webinar is being recorded and you will receive a copy via email in the next day. If you have any technical difficulties during the session, please just use the Q&A window there. You can see at the bottom of your screen. And please submit any questions into the Q&A window. Feel free to submit them at any time as per normal, and Julie will be answering all of your questions at the end of the session. So I just want to start with why you should care about forms. If forms are used correctly, they can be a really powerful tool to make decisions. So you can collect valuable data on customer preferences, your satisfaction, and areas needing improvement. You can also optimize processes to streamline operations. So if you think about reducing administrative tasks, so using form instead of staff, it can be very powerful. Improving the user experience. So forms can enable your customers or your end users to really self-serve and complete tasks themselves. And forms help with the data governance. Forms ensure your data collection is standardized, safe, and compliant. So why should service-led organizations care about advanced forms? Because creating customizable and dynamic forms is hard and time-consuming. So for example, if you're creating a form with logic, which is about revealing those questions based on the answers provided, or forms that appear with pre-filled information about a person, they can be really complicated to build and implement. And common challenges that we hear from our customers about creating these types of forms include the complex development. So building online forms to meet your organization's unique needs can be complex and costly. There's significant development time, effort, and expertise required. And teams are unable to self-serve. This means making marketing and non-tech teams unable to actually get their jobs done. It causes bottlenecks in the organization, reducing time to market and really increasing those implementation costs. It can be hard to maintain and there's no centralization. So some customers might choose a niche form solution, but that does come at a cost. And that's not just about paying for the application itself, but about maintaining it. And niche form solutions add another software to your tech stack. And maintaining all of these different solutions with point-to-point integrations gets messy really, really fast. Data ends up being in duplicated areas across your different systems, and there's no centralized place for all of your forms. And of course, there's data vulnerability and security risk, because security practices of add-ons and plugins can't be guaranteed. Hacking and risks to customer data are at an all-time high, and you do need to centralize a centralized location for all of your data to prevent any threats. So how is Squiz Advanced Forms helping to solve some of these challenges? Well, with Squiz Advanced Forms, non-technical users can create dynamic forms in minutes. You can swiftly construct customized forms that meet specific needs and provide meaningful customer experiences. There's no developer reliance, so you don't require developers to get started, implement, or build dynamic forms. Developers can get time back to work on the value-added tasks and the development projects that they really need to get done. It's fast to build and deliver to a variety of channels. So with a drag and drop form builder, predetermined form field types, and customizable conditional logic, anyone can build and publish a dynamic form in minutes, and you can be confident that your forms meet the accessibility standards as well. And you can easily deliver these forms to your websites, portals, apps, mobile, email, and much more. And you can give your team the tools to really get it done without the complexity. Now, it's also easy to integrate and centralize. So integrations are easy with our out-of-the-box connectors. So you can connect forms and automatically route data to other digital applications. For example, update your customer data on your CRM, and all forms are centralized into one location. And you're always secure and compliant. So Advanced Forms collects and securely stores customer data, and we offer enterprise-grade security, as you might be aware, and protection in one place, being the DXP. You can effectively manage customer data while ensuring compliance, privacy, data security in line with GDPR regulations. You get total peace of mind with encryption, access control, user authentication, and secure data transfer. And as you know, automatic updates and upgrades on SaaS mean you always have the latest functionality and security, so you can leave all that maintenance to us. Now, as you may know, Squiz DXP is made up of 9 core capabilities that you need to build brilliant experiences fast. You can come as you are with our DXP by bringing and integrating your current tech solutions. Everything works as one, and it allows you to embrace change with confidence, knowing that your experiences are always secure and you can make changes without anything breaking. And Squiz Advanced Forms is part of the experience management capability. This allows you to build, manage, govern, evolve omnichannel end user experiences fast. So just before we show you how Squiz DXP's Advanced Forms works, I wanted to give you an overview of just some of the possibilities and things you can do with Advanced Forms. So firstly, it's about creating fast. Now, as mentioned before, you can create really complex forms in minutes, which you'll see. And we've heard of like some of the other solutions from our customers taking months to achieve the same result. Now you can publish and share. You can publish your forms anywhere across all devices, and you can embed forms and share via links, which I'll go through. You can view, download, and use responses. So you can view and download responses at any time. And of course, you can optimize the experience for your customers. Now, when I talk about creating fast, what I really mean is you get a visual no-code drag and drop form builder. So you get pre-built templates and ready-made field types to get you started really quickly. It's really easy to create multi-step and multi-page forms, and it also supports payment gateways, digital signatures, and file uploads for that extra data collection. And it's really easy to publish and share the form itself. So you can embed forms on your website. Now, whether that's Squiz site or a third-party site, such as Drupal, Sitecore, Adobe WordPress, or some other, and you can share on social channels and emails with a URL link or place onto your portal, or you can even generate a QR code for fast collection. And to actually see and use the responses, there's quite a few options. You can route submissions to other applications like your CRM, SIS, marketing automation tools, data storage, you name it. And you can send the data to Squiz CDP to personalize content as well. You can apply approval workflows. So members of your team get notified when they need to take an action. And you can also view the results in your DXP or even export to PDF or CSV. And just some of the possibilities of what you can use forms for and how you can optimize the experience for your customers includes gathering signatures electronically, making payments, completing a registration, gathering feedback, enrolling in a course, entering a competition, completing a survey, making a booking, and that's just the beginning. So I'm now going to show you our product manager, Eugene Mok, explaining a bit about the back end of forms and actually see a form being built.
Hey everyone, it's Eugene here, product manager for Squiz. And thank you, Leonie, for the intro. So today I wanted to take everyone through an example. We're going to build an advanced form together on our local government website. So I'm going to cover some of the really cool functionality, such as conditional logic, e-signatures, payment gateways, auto calcs, and a lot. And yeah, we'll have a look at the finished product together as well. So let's crack into it. Okay, so let's start with the finished product. So what you see on the screen here is the final product of the form that we're going to be creating together. And this is on our local government website. You can see here, everything here is ready to go. But let's jump into the creation process together. So right now I'm in the advanced form builder and I'm about to create a new form. Today we're going to be going with the blank form. Let's start with adding our header to this form. Next, I'm going to add a heading to this form. For our example, this is a Squiz Council parking permit form. So therefore, My title is a parking permit form. Next, we're going to add a subheading. So just to make this heading stand out a little bit more, we're going to change some of the stylings behind this particular field. What you need to do is go back to the field, go to Edit Details, Show Advanced Options. First, we're going to change the background color. For this example, I'm going to change it to Squiz centric colors, and I'm going to change the text to white to make it easier to read. And let's just make the alignment to be centered. Let's do the same for this H1 heading here. Next, I'm going to start adding some metadata fields in here. We're going to need to grab a phone number. We want to capture the email address too. So for the email address, we have a field that is as part of our validation. So this will actually validate that your customer is entering a proper email address. And of course, with every permit form, you also need an address field. For customers who are not within the ANZ region, you'll be able to soon select your selected region, and this will pre-populate some of the fields down here. Next up, we'll probably need the driver's license of the customer applying for this permit. So let's add that on as well. Let's have a question here to capture the car rego number while we're at it. So let's put in a question here for your customer to upload a file. Just to add a bit of structure to your form as well, let's add a break divider. Okay, next we're going to be adding in a conditional question for your customers. We'll go to the form field section here on the side panel. Pick the choose one field type. Put in the sub values here under the question. So we're going to also allow our customers to add multiple drivers to be a part of this permit. To do that, we first need to add a field table to place all those fields in as part of that conditional logic. So now that we have all the fields in place within the field table, we can start configuring the conditional logic. Just the full name one. You go to Edit Field Details, go to Show Advanced Options, and tick this last box here. Show hide this field with conditional logic. First, we're going to select the previous question. Would you like to nominate another driver for your permit? When they say yes, then this field will show. We'll then do the same thing for the next field next to full name, which is the driver's license field. Last thing we're going to do on this particular form is add a page break. What a page break means on the advanced form builder, it means that you can break down this page into a second step, or what we call as a multi-page. And now it breaks into a second page. And let's have a look at what we created so far. Okay, all your fields are in play. You've got your validation here. You can see I didn't put in the act, so it validates that my email is incorrect. And let's see how our conditional logic actually works. If I select yes, the field table should show. And if I want to add another driver, I can do so with the macro that I added before. And of course, we broke the page before to a second page. So let's see if that works. And there we go. So let's continue now. Okay, so for our example and our second page, we want to start adding in some payment detail type questions so that we can get those details off the customer who is applying for the permit. Because it is a new section, we're going to be adding a H2 heading as per before, just to break it up and make it look nicer. So you go to Add a heading field from the design elements, and we're going to be picking the Squiz colors for this example, and the font to be white. So next I want to add in a field that can auto-calculate how much the permit would cost dependent on time. But for this example, I'm going to use time and duration as that metric. Okay, so to set up the auto calculation tool, we need to first pick some values. For my example, I'm going to pick this particular field to start setting up those values and put in some values here. So for me, I'm going to put in 12 months, 24 months, or 36 months. Now go to Show Advanced Options. There'll be a section here called Assign Numeric Values for your options, where you can actually put in dollar amounts for the option selected. Okay, next we're going to start the next step of the Auto Calc field. And go to the calculation field type. Name this amount. Now you need to go to, so we're going to be adding the formula here. So you go into the Insert into Formula and use the previous question as that driver. And because I've entered the full amount in the numeric value for the previous field, I'm just going to add 1 to it. Okay, now that our customer has selected the duration of their permit, they know how much they need to pay. Let's add a payment gateway for them to do so. I'm going to be using PayPal as the payment gateway. You should also be sure to check this particular flag here to change price dynamically based on form choices. This will automatically pick up the calculated price from the previous 2 fields and add that to the payment to make it easier for the customer. So now we've got the payment gateway on the builder itself. Let's make the structure look a bit better by adding a divider in below it. Okay, so now that we've broken up the form here with the divider, let's start adding in some T's and C's. For this example, I'll be using our formatted text field. What we can actually do with the formatted text is change the fonts, the variations, colors, alignments, and so forth. Okay, so let's put a checkbox in to make sure that they've actually read it. Okay, so once we've received that confirmation from the customer, and usually, by the way, you will make this a mandatory field, but for example, let's just fly through this so that we can go through and showcase the rest of the form. But yeah, provided that this is a mandatory field, let's go to the next one and put in a digital signature field. The digital signature has 2 options for your customers. They can draw the signature directly on the form, or they can pick type signature as well, being able to type it and just validate that they've confirmed that they're going to be submitting this form. Let's add in a reCAPTCHA. We have both Google reCAPTCHA and standard CAPTCHA. For our example, we'll be using the standard HCAPTCHA. Okay, now that we've added everything in, let's start changing the styling of all our font families and colors so that it's in line with your brand requirements. You scroll up to the side panel area and go to Styling and Themes. We all know that this is quite a long form, especially if you're going to be creating forms that are more than 2 pages. So let's go into Form Settings and see what other options we have. From here, you can configure emails and SMSs after the form submission to your customers. You can have a quick confirmation message that you can send to your customers as well, with styling included. But what we want to get into is the usability side. This particular feature is what I quite like that we've added to the form builder, which is enable users to save and complete later. Once that's ticked, it's automatically activated. We also have security access where you can put in usernames and passwords required to access a form, and a built-in workflow that you can use as part of that approval process for forms as well. We've got some integration paths available for our customers that are out of box, and soon to come is our own Squiz Connect recipes that you can use to easily integrate with other tech stacks within your organization. Okay, so let's get to the publishing. Once you're done with form settings, you go to the form publishing, and you have a few options. You can send out the form via URL, so your customers can access it that way. Or you can generate a QR code for your customers as well. Within the embed options, you're going to have a JavaScript path, but also an iframe path as well. But we recommend a JavaScript path so that it can be inheriting all the styling from your websites. So let's go ahead and copy the path here. and paste it onto our page. Before we actually paste it onto our page, let's have a look at what we've built so far. Go to View Form. Making sure that everything works. Okay. Our second page. You can see it auto-calculates it as well. And then our PayPal will automatically capture that particular amount. You've got your validation checkbox here, as we mentioned before. We can digitally sign the form, or we can go to Type Avenue. And we've got our reCAPTCHA. Okay, so let's get this form onto our page and as part of our content. Now, I've teleported to the page that we want to add this form in, and I've entered into edit mode as well. So, simply add a component, paste in the script that you had before, hit save, go to the page in which this form has been added, go to preview, and there's the form that we've built together. Thank you for your time today in watching this video. If you have any further questions, please reach out to Squiz.
So welcome, Julie.
Hi.
I just have a few questions that come through, so we'll crack into those. If you do have questions, please feel free to submit them via that Q&A box that you see there. We also have a webinar page with a Q&A going out in the next few days also, so look out for that. Your question might be on there as well. So first question that we've got here is there an option for customers to upload files using their mobile phones?
Yes. So if you have a form that's suitable for someone like who is making a complaint, for example, and you need photographic evidence, you can absolutely use your phone to add photograph attachments and then send that as part of the form submission.
Great. Next question. Do you integrate with Salesforce, and how easy can we integrate Squiz Advanced Forms with other third-party platforms? So integration.
Yeah, so there's lots of different ways that you can integrate the forms and send the data to your different business systems. We have our integrations capability in the Squiz DXP, and that's got hundreds of pre-built integrations to CRMs, all the different places that you might want to send forms, including workflow engines. And so you can use those to send your form data where it needs to be. So if you check out the integrations page on the Squiz website, you'll be able to see the full list of all of those. But obviously, if we haven't done a pre-built one for you, our integrations capability also enables you to be able to build your own. So it hooks up with any REST API, webhooks, whatever you need it to be. But I do know we do have a specific Salesforce one. So definitely for Salesforce, but with almost every other third-party business tool that you would need to send forms data to is available.
Fantastic. Just going to pop up this email address on the screen in case you have questions after the session as well. Please send them through to ask@squiz.net. So the next question, what other payment gateways do you support besides PayPal?
So PayPal and Stripe are the two main ones that we have, but we are always looking for any other ones that our customers need. So again, as Leonie just put the email address on the screen, if you have a specific payment gateway that you need us to integrate with, please contact us on ask@squiz.net and we can work together with you to make that happen.
How do you access Advanced Form Builder via Squiz?
Yeah, so if you're an existing customer, you can talk to your account manager about how you can get access to our advanced forms capability, and then it'll be on your DXP console, so you can just access it through the button. If you are not a Squiz customer, please contact us on ask@squiz.net and we can set you up with a meeting and we can figure out how to get you working on this.
Fantastic. What security measures are in place to protect sensitive customer data using advanced forms?
Yeah, so most importantly, the data is encrypted at rest and at transit. So this means it's secure as it's moving around the system. And also, if you are behind inside the Squiz CDN, you'll also get the additional protection of that and our WAF as additional protection. The forms data itself is also stored very securely on our SaaS platform. So we've got as much security as you would need, because we do understand that personally identifiable information is often inside forms. So we need to be very, very careful with that.
Absolutely. Can we create a form with multiple submit actions that send data to different external sources?
Yeah, absolutely. So at the end of the form, you can set up a reply as well. So you can say, this is what I want to, send the customer, which might be a confirmation of what they've got. And then you can also set up different ways that you might want to send that forms information throughout your own system. And then, of course, we do integrate with multiple workflow tools. I think Eugene had a couple that were there on the integrations page when he was showing it. But again, if you look at the integrations capability on the Squiz website, there are a number of different workflow tools, including our new partnership with Flowingly, which makes it very easy to set up workflows and have the forms data go where you need it to be.
Great. Next one. Where are form submissions stored? Are there options for storing data in the EU for GDPR compliance?
Yeah, of course. So we are GDPR compliant with our forms data. Each of the forms so we have our forms data stored on our AWS SaaS platform, and for EU customers, it is stored in the EU and stays in the EU. We also have US and Australia servers available for those global customers as well. But we are GDPR compliant for our forms.
A few questions. We're still going to keep going.
Keep going.
Will there be? That's all right. Will there be a simple way to display the form on our page if we're using Squiz CMS instead of the embed code?
Yep. So that's something that's coming really soon. We wanted to kind of get it out as quickly as possible. And because of the way that we build everything, where we want to make it very easy to use any of our capabilities, regardless of what other tech stack you might have, we actually prioritized building it so it could be used on any CMS above building the more nicer integrations with our Squiz CMS. But those are coming very, very soon. So it will be available, through menus and things to drag and drop it onto the page where you need it to be very shortly. But we wanted to make it flexible before we made that very specific improvement to the Squiz CMS.
Yeah, for sure. Just a bit of a longer question here. We have some type branding restrictions on our site. I'll just go answer live here. Is it possible to lock down the ability to change colors that we have seen in the demo? There was a background and text color selector, and to choose which text formatting features are available for editors.
Not yet, but that is something that we could do. Another option is that you could specify a template which gets used for all of your forms and just enforce that through workflow. So they can only use that template, which would specify the fonts color, the fonts and the colors and things like that. So you could enforce it that way, but we don't have a specific way of locking specific users out of the fields right now. But if that's something that's really important to a number of our customers, we can definitely look at putting that on the roadmap.
Yes, it's a very specific question. So please just reach out to us if you need more further information about that one as well. I'll just keep going. Is WorldPay integration in the pipeline?
It's not in the pipeline, but if it is important, if you would contact us on ask@squiz.net and we can talk about what your requirements are and how easily we could do that. It's usually pretty easy to do various integrations through our integration capability. So it's probably something that even if we didn't have an explicit connection for it, it may be something that you can very easily set up yourself as well.
And last question I have here is what happens with data in the form? We saw an email option. Is data stored in the database or case system?
So it is stored on our AWS system. So there is a forms dashboard you can go to where you can access all of the different forms that have been you've created and the responses that you have for them. You can also see incomplete responses, so that way you can see if there's any trends around people dropping off over specific answers. or questions rather. So yes, so at the moment, all the forms data is stored on our very secure AWS SaaS system. Of course, there are many, many options for storing it or syncing the forms fields to the systems that you need it to be synced to.
Okay, so that's all the questions that we have today. If you think of another question that hasn't been answered, please send it through. I'm more than happy to help and to provide another demonstration if your organisation does require. So I might leave it there. So thanks very much, Julie, for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you to all those that attended. And we hope it's been a useful session for you. Please reach out if you have any further questions or would like more information.
Thanks, Leonie, and thanks, everyone.